Working from home means every day is bring your kid to work day. And if you don't have the right tools and mindset to balance work and family responsibilities, you may end up throwing in the towel. Black Moth Radio gives you the upper hand in starting and managing your ideal lifestyle while creating your own business, doing what you do best, and doing it from home. So, grab the nearest ink pen and prepare to take notes, because this show is packed with discoveries, tips, and experiences to help you through your journey. Let's begin with our host, Robin Bull. Hey everybody, and welcome to Black Moth Radio, where it is always bring your kid to work day. My name is Robin Bull, and I am your host, and tonight for a Thursday talk, we're going to talk a little bit about some things that you can do to improve work-life integration. Not balance, integration. But first, a few general announcements. For the record, today is October 19th, 2017, and yesterday, October 18th, 2017, I was a guest on Pagans Tonight podcast. It is hosted over on Blog Talk Radio, and it is a free download. I spoke with Dr. Susan on her podcast, and we had a little more than an hour-long discussion regarding domestic violence. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and I know that there are a lot of reasons why someone would stay in that situation. I was in it for a very long time. So if you're listening and you think that you're in a bad situation, even if you're not sure, because it can be hard to know when you're in that situation, make sure that you reach out. The Domestic Violence Hotline, they have a website, and they even have little safeguards if you're afraid to go on there for your computer. They have phone numbers that you can call. You can also call your local YWCA for support or for help. And although domestic violence is, of course, seen as a women's issue because women are the ones who primarily report it, it can affect anyone, regardless of gender, regardless of sexuality. So, yeah, it really is a serious issue. So, make sure that you know that, you have options. There is help out there. Moving on. So, on confessionsfromthecouch.com, another announcement that we have started posting weekly meal plans, and the goal of the dinner plans is twofold. First of all, because I'm a mom and I work from home, I totally understand what it's like to really want to make sure that you get something great on the table, but you also have to balance that with your schedule. So one thing that my husband and I have been doing is surfing the internet and finding some really great recipes from various websites that are easy to make, and sometimes we modify them a little bit, and we put down in our reviews what we've done to modify it. And we always link back to the original recipe so that you can see where it's coming from. We make it, and we tell you what we actually think of it. So kind of a little fun thing that we're doing. We both have really enjoyed it. I think on average I've been spending between $60 and $80 a week on groceries. That is primarily, at this point, meat, because certain types of meat are extremely expensive, but we're not vegetarians, so yeah, there's that. Let's see, I had another announcement I was going to make. Oh yes, in early December, if you are in the Oklahoma City area, my husband will be fighting pro at the pro level for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I don't have a whole lot of information on it yet. I know from what I understand, and I could be wrong, and if I am, I'm sure he'll let me know, and we can correct that this weekend, that it is a submission-only challenge for people who don't know much about jiu-jitsu competitions. Sometimes they're done on points, and, the person with the most points wins. At that point, no pun intended, it's more technical. For this, basically, it's whoever taps out loses. So there are actually a lot of great competitors that we personally know that will be competing. So if you're into that sort of thing and you're going to be in Oklahoma City, we're both pretty easy to find online. if you want to purchase tickets. I know that some places will have tickets readily available. I don't know when the tickets will actually go out. So yeah, if you're into that sort of thing, keep your eye open. We'll certainly keep you updated here. As you've probably noticed, my co-host is not here this evening. He is actually out of town, helping set up for a cage fight. He travels around in Oklahoma a lot of the times when certain companies come through, and he helps set up the cage, tear it down, all the good stuff. So you're stuck with just me. And with that being said, what I would like to really take some time, I'd like to talk about a couple of different things. One being the work-life integration, and Crom says hello. And then the other being why people fail when they're working from home. And so I actually want to start with why people generally fail when they're working from home. I know that I work really, really hard when it comes to running my business, and I'm fully involved and fully committed to my family and their needs. So when people I don't know very well ask me to hire them through social media, you can pretty much guarantee it's a no. But I will offer occasionally to, look at a writing sample or look at their resume to give them some advice. And I do this for free because it's hard to run a business, and like any other job, it's really hard to get your foot in the door if you don't have any experience. It's the whole thing. And I actually saw someone make a reference to this in a job group on Facebook where this lady, she was really frustrated, and it was because she couldn't get anyone to hire her because she didn't have experience. And how do you get experience? Well, you get it by generally getting a job. So she was having a rough time, but it's the same when you're self-employed. You already have to have some amount of experience, or at least be able to showcase your skills and your talent. So anyway, I was part of an Upwork chat about a week ago today actually, and then a few days later, someone else who I guess was following the chat, who's in another country, messaged me on Twitter through direct messenger and asked me to hire them. And I'm like, no, but go ahead, send me a writing sample. I can look at it, right? So there was a pretty big time difference. It eventually gets over to me, and I read it, and it was all right. And so I responded, and I asked a few questions because my goal was to give this person some objective and customized advice for what they were wanting to do. And it's been like 3 days now, and I've still not gotten an answer. And so that is one of the main reasons why people fail when they work at home. They're flaky. They want to work at home, but then when they find out it's actually work, they don't want to do it. So if you're listening to this and you're a flake, if you're lazy, if you don't have self-discipline, you're not going to do very well when you work from home. So unfortunately, that is a lesson that I try to impart upon people, and they don't believe me until, they get involved and then realize how hard it is, and oh my God, it's actually work. So yeah. So had to get a drink. Don't have a co-host, filling the dead air. Sorry about that. You know what? One of these days I want to get a soundboard, or have somebody who's better at this podcasting thing show me how to run sound through my laptop back into the microphone without it being all weird. Because I think we could have a little bit of fun. So, the main thing I wanted to share with you guys tonight, 4 things that you can do right now to improve your work-life integration. And you can actually read this on confessionsfromthecouch.com. I posted it on October the 12th. I've said this probably a million times, and it's something I believed when I worked outside of the home, and it's especially true when you work from home. There's no such thing as work-life balance. When you live where you work and you work where you live, you've always got something that's going to pull at your thoughts. Not too long ago, I wrote about how you can use a routine to improve your life. And that post, it's on confessionsfromthecouch.com, and it's an important post because if you don't find a system that works for you, you're going to pull your hair out. You're going to end up hating yourself. You're not going to enjoy the work from home process. And I don't even think everyone is really cut out to try to run a business out of their home anyway, but it can be done even if you don't end up particularly enjoying it. You could still do it, but there are some things that you really have to work hard at to do. But finding the ideal methodology that's going to work for you and your family, it's going to take time, and you're going to have to go back and tweak it. I've worked from home for several years. I still go back and I look at what I do and I make changes. I have some core things that I keep in place that keep things for both my business and my life just sort of rocking along. And so here are the 4 things that you can do now to help improve how you integrate your work in your life. The first thing is you have to realize it's integration and not balance. And this is the most important thing that you can do to improve your work and home life. I've already said it a couple of times, say it again, there's really no such thing as balance between work and life. And, even if you work outside of the home now, it's still integration and not balance. Why? Well, because we worry about our families, our homes, our pets, social life, whatever, when you're working outside of the home. But then when you're home, you have all of these thoughts intruding on your personal time that have to do with your work responsibilities, and it's not any different when you work from home. So when I'm developing content for clients, interviewing people for news articles, which by the way, I've had a couple of really great pieces posted on usaherald.com, so make sure you go check those out. If I'm in a web meeting or when I'm sitting here for hours on end rewriting a college level business class, there's a good chance that I'm also sitting here worrying about any number of things that have to do with things that I need to get done around the house, appointments for myself, my husband, one of the kids, just whatever. And when I'm not working, and I'm focusing on being, little Miss Susie Homemaker, and I enjoy that aspect. So don't misunderstand me. It's not me saying that those things aren't important. One of the main reasons why I started working from home was to make sure that everybody was taken care of, things around the house were taken care of, I'm here when the children needed me. That was my number 1 priority. But when I'm still doing things around the house, or I'm taking a kid to an appointment, or a kid to work, or whatever, I'm also still thinking about client projects, emails, and whatever else. So it's really important for you to recognize that work and life, they have to exist side by side. They're part of a bigger entity. It's part of you. It's part of me. It's not balance. It's a peaceful coexistence within our own thoughts. So that takes work. I know it takes work on my part. My house isn't going to explode because I didn't do the dishes by the time I usually try to have them done by. My brain might threaten to explode, but the house is fine. And that actually is going to bring me to my next thing that you can do to improve your work-life integration. You have to learn how to enjoy the perks. And there are a shitload of perks when you work from home. Of course, what you probably enjoy is different than what I enjoy. Like, I like to take a hot bath in the middle of the day. I like taking a walk. I like going out into my backyard with my 3 dogs and playing with them. I really do enjoy the recipe review that we're doing here. I love to cook, and so that is a highlight for me, is the fact I'm home. I have time to do these things, and I enjoy when my husband isn't working on a remodel project somewhere. I enjoy going out to lunch with him, just the 2 of us. So working from home, it's really hard because, again, you live where you work where you live. So you have to learn how to take advantage of those perks, because that's going to go a long way in stopping feelings of depression and isolation. And you know, I'm one of the most introverted people on the planet in person. I'm really good at expressing myself in writing. Most of the time, I do okay in meetings, things of that nature. Of course, I do fine with my core group of friends, but I do not require a whole lot of interaction with other people. But there are times when even I have to make sure that I'm getting out and getting around people because it still will take a toll on you. It takes a lot longer for it to take a toll on me, but it happens. And so if you consider yourself an extrovert, or if you consider yourself moderately introverted, but not super introverted, you still enjoy, getting out and about, you have to make sure that you're doing that. The third thing that you can do to, well, apparently Athena has found herself a moth to chase. So, okay, side note, it's the ADD. Athena is our almost 17-year-old son's puppy. She was born in May. I've had her since July here at the house. And she's learned this neat trick where it doesn't matter if it's a ball or a bug, a stick. She's small. She's part Kimmer and part deer-head Chihuahua. She looks more like a deer-head Chihuahua, but she's bigger. She has this thing. She's figured out that she can throw her own toys or throw a bug, throw whatever she can find, and then she'll go chase it, pick it up, and do it again. It's really funny. So that's what she's doing down here in the office. Is she was chasing a moth, trying to catch it, and I know that was her heart's desire there. So yeah. Anyway, so the third thing, work-life integration. Get yourself a basic routine. And I know I posted about this on Confessions from the Couch where I kind of detailed a lot of mine. And I know I've done posts in the past, not just here, but on previous blogs where I've talked about a day in the life. And the important thing about a day in the life is because there are people who don't think working from home is actually work. And then you have people who glorify it, which in theory is fine, but they don't realize that it's a lot of work. You have to be really good with pressure. You have to be able to meet deadlines and, deal with it. And I know a lot of people think working from home equates to pajamas all day and working whatever in the hell you want. But both of those particular caveats that people associate with working from home have a couple of fatal flaws. So if you lounge around too much, A, you're not going to be productive. I didn't say it, science said it. B, you're going to start to feel like a slob. Again, I didn't say it, science said it. So get up, get dressed. I mean, you don't got to do your makeup every day if you don't want to, but make sure you're taking care of yourself at the basic level. Even I still have an occasional PJ day, but I don't go overboard with it. And chances are, if you're new to working from home, you will go overboard with it. But then, when you start getting depressed, you're going to remember what I told you about not doing that. And it's going to be a hell of a lot harder to force yourself to get up and get dressed. But I promise you start doing that enough, you're going to start to feel a little bit better. And I'm not talking about depression as a mental illness. I'm not talking about chemical imbalance, things of that nature. I'm talking about how, you're not taking care of yourself, and so that's when you start looking down on yourself. So please understand, I'm not talking about people who need support for actual depression. I totally get that. That's not what I'm talking about. So yeah, get up, get dressed. You're gonna have to force yourself to do it. You'll know I was right. I'm telling you now, save yourself the hassle. Learn from my experience. And the thing with working whenever you want, it's a dangerous concept because we all have at least one friend or one family member who doesn't think that working from home is real work. And I know I mentioned a little bit about that earlier. Or they think that, kind of like what new people think about working from home, you can just work whenever. So you get asked to babysit for free because they work outside of the home, so they're invalidating what you do, and they don't necessarily want to pay you for your time. And I don't mean just once in a while. They want you to run their errands for them. while they are at work. So again, they're invalidating what you're doing and the importance of your clients and your deadlines. And, well, Panda's here. The whole thing with working whenever, to some degree, it's true. If you're a night owl, do your thing. If you like mornings, again, do your thing. If you're like me and you primarily just work while your kid is in school, go for it. I mean, right now I'm working a little bit more than that, but those are the hours I generally prefer because I want to be with my family. But whatever you choose, make sure that you're consistent. And the reason for that is your clients need to know when they can contact you, when they're going to get a response. And you need to be able to protect your time from your friends and family, because if you don't, you're going to burn out. You'll decide to, do it later, and the issue is later never shows up, or you're so tired by the end of your day or the middle of the night that you screw it up and your client drops you like a bad habit, and rightfully so, because they didn't get what you promised. So it's really, really important to create some sort of basic routine and do your best to stick to it. And I know things happen. We've had some changes this week. So I get it. Things happen, and you do have to learn to go with the flow, but you also need a general game plan. And finally, the thing that wins me absolutely no friends, the fourth way to immediately improve your work-life integration is just say no to looking at social media when you should be working. Because the problem is, even if you're telling yourself, oh, I'm going to look just for a minute, it's never just for a minute. So unless your actual job is social media manager and you're on your client's social media, don't waste your valuable work time by fucking around on social media. Some people justify it by saying that this helps them better pace their work. I think it's great if you're a fast worker. So am I. It's fantastic. I end up with more work, more clients. So when I take a flat rate project and work fast, it means that I make more on an hourly average than if I were fucking around on social media, and so it took me longer, right? So save your social media for your own time. And I know what everybody says, but I need to be found on social media. Absolutely. I'm really easy to find. I use the same username on Facebook and Twitter, drobinbull. It's the same on Instagram, same on LinkedIn. Pretty sure it's the same on Ello, although I don't use my Ello. And last time I got a notification from them, it looked like it had been taken over by porn bots. So yeah, you need to be able to be found. And in the beginning, you do spend a lot of time doing stuff like that because you don't necessarily have clients. But as you have those clients and you have those deadlines that you need to meet, you need to rely on tools like Buffer, because you can fill it up in advance and it posts for you. And I was telling a new client about it the other day because she's a really, really busy lady, does a lot of writing. She's a lawyer. She's actually a lawyer for lawyers. And she just runs out of time, and she doesn't really want to mess with social media, and she knows she needs to share her stuff out there, but she also doesn't really want to sink the time into it, and I get it. She also understands it can be a time suck. So I told her about Buffer because, I can spend an hour a week, and I can post stuff for most of my social mediums, for like an entire week, and I'm done. So make sure that you're taking advantage of those tools. Most of them have free plans. Some of them, if they're not free, they're really, really, really cheap. And keep in mind that your private messages, whatever, it'll all be there for you when you have the time to actually sit down and read them. So pay attention to your social media time, because it is something that you have total control of. And I would also say that it is the same with your email. Make sure that you're paying attention to how much time you spend on email. If you're wondering what I'm doing, because I keep kind of pausing, I think Athena just found a torn up soccer ball in the backyard and tried to drag it in the office. So The reason why I was looking so hard is because a couple of weeks ago, she had something that looked similar, and she brought it to me, and it ended up being a dead rat that she found in the yard. Doesn't surprise me. Pandora is our mouser, and she will find anything that moves and try to kill it when she finds it in the yard. So, yeah, it's always an exciting life in this house. That's all I really had for tonight for Thursday Talk. Make sure you go to confessionsfromthecouch.com. You can follow the site via email and join the 1,499 other followers. Scroll to the bottom of the page. You can hit follow to follow with your WordPress account, or you can sign up via email. That's a thing too. You can also see the best posts right beneath the follow button, so that's really cool. There's a search feature, questions, comments, concerns, hate mail. Haven't gotten any hate mail in a while. Seems like people finally figured it out. Find me on Twitter, find me on Facebook at The Robin Bull. If you have a confessional that you want to share, something going really great in your work from home life, or something you want to complain about anonymously, confessionsfromthecouch.com, and at the top of the page, click confessional, fill out the form, and hit send. I will post it, and it will be posted anonymously. So, thanks for tuning in tonight. I really, really appreciate all of you keeping company. That's all I have.
Hopefully, you're walking away from this podcast with a plan to implement the tips you've heard, a great attitude, and you subscribe to Black Moth Radio to ensure that you never miss any of the goods. Whether you're a hopeful work-from-home freelancer or you're well settled into your work-from-home lifestyle, we hope you've learned something that you can use. If you're ready to know more about the work-from-home lifestyle, check out sellfy.com/robinbull. Questions, comments? Let Robin know by going to facebook.com/therobinbull or confessionsfromthecouch.com. Thanks for listening. Join us next time and keep learning.